Hey, Ag Teacher Thoughts here, coming at you with another video. It is time for us to get some other things in the ground that we didn't do this fall. So this fall I kind of got distracted. I got busy with the new job and I didn't get some things like my new hydrangea planted. So this did have a tag on it at one time. I don't know where it went, but I've decided it needs to be right here in the corner of my house. It's going to serve as a windbreak for my hosta, which are right behind it. Also in North Idaho, the hydrangeas do need a little bit of shade, so there's a nice crimson maple up above us that'll provide that summer shade and allow this hydrangea to perform really, really well for us. So what I've got to do is clear a nice space here on the corner of the house, avoid the sprinkler cable, which is right there, that goes to the valve not far from here, and also not rupture the irrigation line. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. We're going to do some hand excavation, probably with some smaller tools. But yeah, we'll get this lovely hydrangea planted. So if you can see on the top of this hydrangea, there are some rice holes that they used for keeping down the weeds. We're going to go ahead and just add those to the hole as organic matter. But let's bring you on in close. We'll take a look at where we're doing this and start working on digging that hole. Oh, and I should point out, it's t-shirt and short weather. It's March 1st in North Idaho. It's 60 degrees right now. We're in full-on spring, and we should be in the depths of winter. So, yeah, we'll see how this goes. Okay, as I've pointed out before, North Idaho, in my area, we are on the confluence of some major rivers where there was a bunch of great floods. So there's a lot of rock here, a lot of river rock, which we're going to get rid of. But that's not the main rock we struggle with here. And that is actually volcanic cinder. So back in the 70s, someone thought it was a great idea to put the red and black cinder over all the landscaping. So they put down black poly and then cover it with red cinder to keep the weeds from coming up. The problem is eventually that black plastic gets torn up, gets fragmented, leaves microplastics in your soil, and just becomes a general destroyer of the organic and the biome of the soil. So it prevents oxygen from getting down deep in the soil, which means the soil goes aerobic and it smells really, really bad. But also the plants can't get through that, and it really kind of messes the soil up. So that's been a major part of rehabbing our home site here, is getting rid of the cinder and getting rid of the black plastic. So as we dig that up, you're going to see lots of cinder and black plastic. This is kind of one of those jobs I do by hand at first, because the cinder is kind of loose in the soil. The dirt's been washed away from it. And then we'll go in with some hand tools to get this scraped up. I do have a screen that I've used in the past, but the soil is all still pretty damp right now, which means the screen is going to also screen out chunks of dirt, and we don't want to do that right now. There's some bigger bark in here. Leave that there for organic matter. I've got one lone little pansy here. We're probably going to transplant that guy. And I know my line goes right through here, and that's right where I'm going to plant the hydrangea. So probably a mistake, but this is today's project. That's the site I selected. Big bite of soil. Put him back here in a nursery container. We'll heel him in somewhere else in the yard. Lots of rocks. We'll remove what we can find. Here, all those rocks. If I remember right, I put a green ribbon over the top of that so that I would know when I was going to hit the line. There's more of that black plastic. It's all through here. I know that since I've excavated this before for the control wire for the sprinkler valve, that I got a lot of that plastic out. I shouldn't be hitting any. There's a worm. Get that guy off to the side. So this soil doesn't really form dirt clods. These are all stones and cinders. Dirt will cling to the outside of them, but they are just cinders. Yeah, there's a little bit more of that black plastic. There's more. This is one of my favorite gardening tools. It's manufactured in Japan. I don't remember the name of the company, but there was a farm store by where I used to live that sold them. Oop. Okay, we're getting close. We may not have enough soil to be able to do this because that's my marker line. Yeah, we have a long ways to go. This may be the exact wrong location. It is. It is. Yeah, I see more of the ribbon there. Okay, we're going to back up. False alarm. I'm going to get closer to the yard, which I didn't want to do. I should have figured I was going to be right in line with it. That's my mistake. So we're going to come back here a little bit further. Using the mat for my knees because these cinders are really uncomfortable to kneel on. That way. We may end up partially burying this and reinforcing or filling in the ground around where we're excavating, bringing this up. There's a lot of cinder in there. There's the tree roots from the crimson maple behind us. Let's get our tool in there. This is a very, very sandy soil. Very little clay, so if you can get in there and rake it up, it's really easy to work with. But conversely, since it's very, very sandy, it also means that it doesn't hold water very well, which forces us to do a lot of irrigation in the summertime to keep everything alive. And don't worry, the water isn't wasted when we irrigate. It seeps into the soil and it goes into the river, which is only a couple hundred yards that way. So it goes right back into the system, whatever's not used by the plants. And whatever is used by the plants is evaporated out and then returned to the atmosphere where it falls as rain. Oh no. Oh no. Well, that answers one question. I want to know where my irrigation line is. Just seeing if I broke it with the shovel. Don't see any evidence that I did. Well, we'll keep excavating by hand. That's one of the reasons we're using smaller tools. The sprinkler lines aren't as deep as they should be here, which leads to problems. think that's just about deep enough. Let's do a test fit. Well, almost. Coming on the side of that water line. I think it'll fit there. All right, I'm going to leave a little bit of a more flat bottom on that. Dump all those rice holes in there. Yeah, roots aren't too good on this. You can actually knock some of that organic matter off the bottom. So plant it a little bit deeper. I think we need to come up actually. There we go. There we go. Up a little bit more. Guess we didn't need quite as deep of a hole. There we go. That's perfect. We'll just brush those rice holes in there. Drag our soil all the way back around. And we do definitely want to cover that soil surface there. So we don't want that potting media exposed. If it is, that potting media will actually act as a wick. Will act as a wick, and it will suck the moisture out of the ground up to that potting media, causing your plant to dry out. So we don't want that to happen. Resculpt this ground surface here. Be just like we weren't even here. It's a little further out towards the yard than I wanted, but I think this will work. But there you go. That is a replanting of a really late season replanting of a hydrangea, which is actually broken bud. Which I don't think I pointed out. There's the buds right there. They're already starting to swell up. So this one needed to be in the ground, definitely. But anyway, as always, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. I hope you do definitely subscribe to the channel because we have a whole lot more plant content coming this summer. And this is kind of part of that. Today's going to be a day of planting, and you get to join me on that. So this is going to be it for this video. And also join us over on Patreon too. It's patreon.com/agteacherthoughts. Over there, we're going to have some of our merch available. First thing we have right now is some wallpapers and screensavers, but there's more physical merch coming soon. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. See ya.